Shit about to get real, for real. DA got that go.
Welcome to NorthWoods Fantasy Talk, Episode 2. I'm Samuel Walton, your host, with
Chris, Nolan,
Baylor.
and Eli.
And this week we'll be talking about what's happened through weeks 1 through 4. Whatever. Okay, well,
Let's take a look at the standings.
currently I am number 1 and am undefeated.
3-0. Then we have 5 2-1 teams, starting with Carter, Baylor, Eli, Nolan, and then somehow Connor. And then we have Justin, who managed to beat on the weak Chris, and 2 winless teams, and Chris and Wills, who subsequently have the 2 least points scored in the league.
This is a big question. Who is going to get a win first? Wills or Chris?
Well, considering Russell,
I think Wills.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. No,
Russell
definitely
didn't
Chris.
start. Russell didn't start.
Cooper Cup.
And that's a big problem.
Cooper Cup.
No, I would have definitely started
you
Cooper
wouldn't.
Cup.
Over Ted Ginn?
Yeah,
I definitely would have
he's
over
not-
Ted
no,
Ginn.
he's
Chris is just lucky this week.
The thing he's not starting is.
So we all know if Chris wins this week, he will be lucky.
But somehow Wills managed to get a quarterback who scored 31 points, and he still is behind.
Yeah.
With him playing that all-powerful Samuel with Jared Goff. With
Yep,
40
you can't
points
stop
this
me,
week.
Jared Goff.
Unstoppable.
Now, one thing that I want to bring up is Adam Thielen. Now, first 4 weeks. We're 4
I actually
weeks
gotta say,
in.
he's pretty good.
Okay, so Adam Thielen this season, all 4 games, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's decent, and that's exceeding expectations. But now we're going to move on to...
Now, that's a hot take right there.
Let's get into some hot takes.
Nolan, you're up
So,
next.
the first hot take with Nolan.
David Johnson. Will he have a breakout game to put him back at the
That's
top
not
5
how
running
that's
back?
not a hot
A hot no.
Retard. You make a prediction.
See, we have to educate people on the podcast,
Yeah,
but it's
see,
okay. It's okay.
it's okay,
He's like
it's
a
just
prodigy.
podcast.
Well, why
for
can't I
knowledge.
just
Knowledge.
answer?
Okay, well, skipping Nolan. My hot take is Kerryon Johnson. I'm predicting he will become a top 10 running back this year because just his last game, he was a beast, and he didn't even play full time then.
All right, I'm going to the weekly prediction here. Starting Russell Wilson this week, easily an MVP candidate. But in my
Wrong.
other quarterback spot, I'm going to be starting Baker Mayfield over Derek Carr versus the Oakland Raiders. I'm predicting
Good pick.
a 20-point game for Baker Mayfield
Yeah.
in his starting
Yeah.
debut. He's going to
Hey,
annihilate
I called
the
it since
Raiders defense.
preseason. He would be starting by week
Annihilate
4.
them.
I said he'd be starting by week 4.
It's a hot take.
Chris, what do you think?
My hot take is it also involves a running back that will ascend into top 10 territory. His name starts with an A. Aaron Jones.
Oh.
Explosive running
Oh.
back. Last week he had 6 carries for 42 yards. He's obviously the best running back. And if the Packers can make Eddie Lacy look good, then they can make Aaron Jones look good.
Why is Kenyon Drake so bad, Chris?
I believe Kenyon Drake is good, but he's just not getting the carries that he deserves.
Hey, no. I get to do my hot take.
Okay, we gotta talk about our
Hot take.
Stopped me on my question.
Drew Brees is going to finish as the wide receiver, or is the QB1
Wide
because
receiver one.
QB1 because he has Alvin Kamara and he has the 3rd most
Kamara.
targets in the NFL, and he has Michael Thomas who has the most targets in the NFL.
Alvin Kamara is pretty good.
I have 2 of the top 3 wide receivers. I called it since preseason. Juju Smith would be a beast, and he is.
I have Calvin Ridley, number 5, Tyreek
I
Hill,
have
number
Deshaun
3,
Jackson.
and number 15, Mike Williams.
I have Ryan
So,
Fitzpatrick.
Next question. Do you guys think the Fitzmagic will continue?
Well, I just traded him away for a nice George Kittle who doesn't have a quarterback. I think the Fitzmagic can have one more week, but it's going to be hard this week.
No.
I feel like the Fitzmagic will run out because he's like a little Dwight Schrute. You know, he has, I don't even know. Like it's like some Schrute Farms magic or something like that. I don't even know.
Yep.
Bersnickel.
So Nolan?
I think he'll get about 2 or 3 more weeks.
Okay.
And then once he has a bad week, they'll just put in Jameis.
I just hope Mike Evans continues to do good.
Yep.
So now we have an advertisement.
From our lead sponsor.
From Germany.
So now we're going to talk about matchup predictions.
Starting off with Eli versus Baylor.
Game of the week.
I think it's the game of the week. It's already started off with Dan Bailey somehow managing 11
I think it'll be a
points,
close one.
Yep.
And
I'm
Yeah.
predicting a win for
I'm
Eli.
going to have to go with Eli too.
It's
I'm
going to come
predicting a
down
win
to
for
Tyreek
Eli.
Hill. coming
I'm
down to
predicting a
Tyreek
win
Hill
for
Monday
Eli.
night versus Royce Freeman.
Oh,
We'll just
shoot.
see how it works.
We're in the red zone. We might be in some traffic.
Oh man,
Yep.
we're watching a pro.
Okay, so what's
amateur
next?
ball game.
Pro style viral.
Intercepted. Down
Add
for
him
Wheaton.
to your roster while you can.
Yeah.
Listen,
That's
wire
waiver
pickup.
wire.
Oh, best waiver wire pickup so far this season.
Mark
James
Ingram.
Conner.
Mark
Gonna
Ingram.
have to go James Conner.
Yes, I have to agree with James Conner.
Mark
Yep,
Ingram.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
James
definitely
Conner's
James
pretty
Conner.
good pickup, but it could be Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Could be. Okay.
I shouldn't have dropped Baker.
Who has surprised you guys?
Next
Who
matchup.
has surprised you?
Friend of the Crown and Connor versus Dunkin' Donuts and Carter. Carter took an
Has
L
to
last
win.
week.
Has
Easy
to
win.
be Dunkin'
To
Donuts.
Nolan.
Carter has
Dunkin' Donuts. Connor just got lucky last week.
Connor has Cam Newton and Chris McCaffrey. Who
Just
carries
joking.
his team.
Connor didn't get
team,
lucky. He
and
just
they
knows the
have a
Saints
Carter
luck.
Carter should look to beat on this man just
Yeah,
like he does
yeah.
in real life. Just a classic loser. But he did start with -3 points with his defense
Yep,
with
yep.
the Vikings. So it could be a close game. It's only 30-0 right now.
Next matchup.
Oh, well, we're going to move down to the next division. Leo Foreskin and Wills facing off against Samuel and Gas the Jujus. 0-3
Easy
win for
versus
Samuel.
3-0.
That's
Easy
an
win for Samuel.
Easy win for
Samuel will
Samuel.
continue to.
Juju
4-0.
doesn't want to get gassed.
Yeah, Samuel's just on fire right now.
Jared
3-0,
Goff, beast.
Looking to continue to 4-0. All right, next up, we got Taco Bell at 0-3 versus Tebow Steak.
Easy win for Taco Bell.
I don't know.
Tebow
I
Steak.
don't know. I think
But I
Tebow
don't know.
Steak could pick up a win.
It'll be
This
close
will be a
because
close
Tebow
game.
State didn't start Cooper Cup.
close game,
And he
yeah.
started a bad
Well, the Rams defense managed to get 5
Yeah,
points considering that Kirk Cousins just can't finish
shootout.
a drive.
Yeah.
He's
And he got
starting
fumbled
Marshawn
like
Lynch.
4 times.
You never know.
Marshawn Lynch is a beast. I will say, if he goes back to his classic form, he could be a beast. Okay, final
our security
matchup of the
guard. Get him
week.
out.
Todd's Plan and Justin facing off against Big Mac and
I
Nolan.
have to give the win for Big Mac.
Yeah, I
Big
would
Mac.
too.
I'd give
I
the
gotta
win to
say,
Big Mac.
I
Joe
heavily
Mixon?
criticized his trade of Leonard Fournette and Kareem Hunt for Michael Thomas and David Johnson, looking like a steal trade right now. Michael
Yeah,
Thomas,
it's pretty good.
Michael
Michael
Thomas
Thomas.
is dominating,
A beast.
and David Johnson.
You're forgetting that he also gave up Kareem Hunt.
Well,
Well, it's not like either of them have
Patrick
done very well
Mahomes-
this year.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about who we've been impressed with. Eli?
Well, it's a hard one here, but I'm going to have to go with Saquon Barkley. In an absolutely garbage offense, he's still managed 2 20-point games, and he's looking like a threat from the receiving back and a tailback, running right up the middle. Last week, 17.7 points, 82 rushing yards, a touchdown, 40 receiving yards. I mean, when you're making your own offense, that's just incredible.
Chris?
The player that's impressed me the most is kind of hard because no one on my team has really stood out yet. But
Clearly.
if I had to go with someone from my team, it would be Philip Lindsay, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with James Conner. I did not expect James Conner to do this good. I thought Le'Veon Bell would come back after week 1.
There's no need for him to.
And James Conner has really taken over that role.
Let's
and
keep
he's
in mind
probably
that
a
this
top-
isn't even Chris's player.
Yeah.
But you don't have to talk about your player.
Okay, Nolan?
Mine would be either Matt Ryan, who has 2 solid games in the past 2 weeks,
Gag.
and maybe Michael Thomas. All I have to say on that is wide receiver number 1.
All I have to say is I don't know how you pick Matt Ryan because
Listen,
his red zone offense is absolutely terrible.
Okay,
I
Baylor.
gotta go with Adam Thielen because he's in a high-powered offense and he's still
Holden just caught a
performing.
bomb from Andy.
He's still performing and he's in a high-powered offense with Dalvin Cook and Stephon Diggs.
Yep, gotta say, Dalvin Cook underperforming with his injury. It looks like it's gonna be a threat in the offense.
Well, most people would probably expect me to say Juju, but I've called him since the preseason, so I'm going to have to go with Goff. I knew he'd be good, but I didn't realize he'd be this good. What do you think about this?
I think that that's a very good take.
So now we're going to talk about who hasn't performed very well. So, Baylor?
For me, I gotta go with Royce Freeman because the emergence of Philip Lindsay, he's not getting as many carries as I would like him to. He's done fine, but he just hasn't gotten enough carries.
Okay. Nolan?
I would say David Johnson. After having a good year 2 years ago, but having a wrist injury hurt him
good English.
last year, this it's just I thought he'd bounce back better than this.
Okay. Chris?
I'm going to have to go with Senor Kenyon Drake. I expected him to have a good season. I still believe he will bounce back because the Dolphins just need to give him more carries because he's obviously the most talented running back on that team. Frank
Sure,
Gore
sure.
is a bum.
Sure.
I'm going to have to go with Julio Jones, who's performing very well. 169 receiving yards in week 1, carried his offense, but only 64 and 96 yards last week, still a lot. But the red zone offense from Steve Sarkisian is just terrible right now. I can't even comprehend that he's the best player on their team, and he hasn't even gotten a single touchdown in the red zone. It's just ridiculous. And the emergence of Calvin Ridley, who's also on my bench, is just making it a little bit more painful to watch.
So I'm gonna have to go with Alex Collins. Many people projected him to be a top running back this year, but he just isn't. He hasn't done amazing.
Samuel, stop grabbing my
He's
nuts.
getting carries
What
taken
are-
away. He's getting the red zone stuff taken away from him.
Buck
He's getting it
Allen
taken
is
away.
dominating Alex Collins. Last week he had 52% of the snaps.
Yeah,
Buck Allen did.
Alex Collins could be out of the workload.
So any more thoughts?
I think I'm good.
I'm good.
I think we're going to see 2 0-4 teams after this week.
Yep. We're signing off here with,
I'm Baylor.
I'm Nolan.
I'm Chris.
I'm Eli.
and I'm your host Samuel, and this was NorthWoods Fantasy Talk.
Episode 2.